So let's have a look at risk criteria. Tolerable risk is always relative, and it always depends on terms of reference that may change from context to context, from organization to organization, from a school to another school, country to country, from culture to culture. Keeping the objectives of your product in mind, you will have to consider the risk criteria or terms of reference of your organization or community for your decision on the tolerable risk for your product. This decision is never taken individually. Risk criteria are part of the risk management process and are based on the external and internal context. So, to define risk criteria, there are some examples of internal parameters that you'll have to take into account, like the reputation or the image in the market, causes or values the brand wants to stand for, like inclusiveness, promotion of healthy lifestyles, prevention of obesity or other health issues, higher purposes to serve society, like the use of local resources or foster local economy, and promote human-friendly environments, for instance. Another parameter must be can be selected research or proven best practice or strategies, for instance, for the selection of effective risk reduction measures, or quality indicators with influence on safety for children during the whole product life cycle, like durability, environmental safety. You may want to reduce maintenance dependency. As for the external parameters, you will surely have to consider cultural issues or socio-economical factors. You may also think about the environment where product will most likely or possibly be used, like near a swimming pool or indoors or outdoors, most likely under supervision, adult supervision or not, in a domestic or collective use setting, and take into account values of society where the product will be marketed, like safety, sustainability, autonomy. And last but not least, there is an external parameter that is always part of your list of risk criteria, and that is laws, regulations and standards, either European or national, that set the minimum requirements for safety. You may just want to comply with minimal safety requirements, or you may want to go further and have higher standards according to your own quality parameters. For instance, an organization may want to increase the level of safety established in a European standard by increasing the threshold for acceptable risk in their products if their policy is that injuries to young children due to product failure are not acceptable. One example can be a soother or pacifier. A manufacturer may want to increase the level of safety, particularly in the case of sensitive articles like this one, a soother that is intended to be in the mouth of a young child, under no supervision. For the tensile test, to check if a small part can detach, the standard sets the minimum safety limit at 90 Newton. Still, some brands may want to apply a force of 10 or 20% more to increase safety, or reduce furthermore the possibility of the soother breaking in the baby's mouth and create the risk of choking. Another example, in some way maybe lower a little bit, is grass on playgrounds. Playground standards sets that grass is acceptable as an impact attenuating surface for a free height of fall for up to 1 meter. Still, in some countries in Northern Europe, it is socially acceptable, in some instances, to have grass up to a fall height of 1.5 meters, and some manufacturers may recommend it. So this is also going outside what the standard recommends. But we must remember that standards are voluntary references unless they really have binding obligation. Coming back to laws, regulations and standards as external parameters in your risk criteria. When innovating, even if your product didn't exist before, there are always legal references to take into account, like the General Product Safety Directive, that says that only safe products can be on the market. When developing new products, new features, or changing existing ones, though, for your risk management process, specific standards may not exist, and some horizontal documents like ISO EEC Guide 50, Guidelines for Child Safety and Standards, or the SAN Technical Report on General Safety Guidelines for Childcare Articles, these horizontal documents may be consulted as reference documents for your risk management process. Standards for products with similar features or functions may also be selected to tackle similar hazards or risks, even though they may only cover your new product partially. So, as key issues for this lesson, remember, risk management adds value to your organization and helps you protect child safety as a core value. For decision taking on tolerable risk, you need to refer to terms of reference according to internal and external parameters of your organization or community. Risk tolerance is always relative to specific risk criteria. Risk criteria defines risk management policies and should have a hierarchy to better support decision-taking on tolerable risk, identification of those risks that need to be modified, as well as risk communication procedures. We will look at the next steps of the risk management process in the next lessons.